Hello and welcome to the show. I am here on Forza 6 with another silly car build. My vehicle today is the Rolls-Royce Dawn. I did say after the Rivals event we had to use the Wraith. I wouldn't drive another Rolls-Royce again. However, they had to go and bring out a new one in the latest DLC. So I thought I should probably have a go with this car. Now, it is likely to be a rather heavy beast. However, that might not be too bad a thing. We're probably going to get a half-decent amount of power. I'm hoping we might actually have some decent control in this car. Now, we can swap the drivetrain, but I won't for this series. There are no engine swap options for the Dawn, so it will be running with the standard engine. Not that it is a bad engine, and certainly, I mean, it starts off at 563 horsepower. So yeah, it looks very silly with a wing as well. Yeah, that looks quite silly with that wing, but there we go. Yeah, it certainly starts off with plenty of power. It'll likely get up to... it might be getting up towards the region of 1,000 horsepower. I'm not actually sure quite how much power. Tyre width, 335s on the rear, is really rather nice. And we have 305s on the front. That's pretty impressive. For a car that isn't four-wheel drive, they are some very, very big front tyres, which is always good. Of course, you know, the big downside is going to be the weight. Now, with that weight, we might get some stability. It might not be too crazy car. We might actually get some good traction out of the corners that could help it. But of course, you've still got a lot of mass to try and get, well, change direction, basically. And the circuit that we're going to is nasty. Is a very nasty circuit because of such the incredibly tight opening corners. Yeah, we may have some issues through there. Admittedly, I thought we were going to have issues with the Hellcat that went out last time. That was not the case, but this is even larger and even heavier. So, yeah, basically, it's still not out of A-class, having put all of the handling parts except for the weight reduction on the vehicle. We're probably going to... I doubt we're going to get it under... Oh, crap, I forgot how much that's going to add. It's going to add quite a lot. It does look interesting, certainly, with the roll cage. I doubt we're going to get this under £4,000, to be honest. We're certainly not 4,421. We saved almost 1,300, but it's such a heavy car to begin with. Now, we may save a little bit more weight with some of the bits and pieces from here, the likes of the exhaust and so on. Not sure it's really going to be enough to, yeah, it's going to be very heavy. It's not going to have the greatest power-to-weight ratio of the vehicles, but that might not necessarily be too bad or a thing. I was kind of expecting it to have a little bit more power. That's a bit more like it, 694 horsepower from the Rolls-Royce. We're past the 700 horsepower mark. Come on, we've got to get a respectable figure out. I hope we get a respectable figure out of this vehicle. PI is gradually going up. It's not going to challenge the top cars, but it may get to sort of the Maserati level. 864 horsepower from the Rolls-Royce. Sometimes the intercooler can add a nice little chunk, not a huge amount. 892, we might just creep over 900 with, not quite, 897 horsepower, 804 foot-pounds of torque. I mean, it's a lot, certainly. It's, yeah, you know, decent performance figures, but it's that weight. That is the real killer bit on this car. I'll save it a little bit with a flywheel, but yeah, there we go. Decent power and very good torque. Will it be able to get its giant bulk around the circuit, though? Of course, to test out the Rolls-Royce, I have brought it to the Virginia International Raceway, where it will have 5 laps around the Patriot layout, in an attempt to go faster than our current leader, the Dodge Charger Hellcat, with a 110.5. Now, that is a fairly decent time from the Charger, and while most of our cars that have gone here so far have been separated by only just over half a second between all 5 of them, this is a fair way down in PI on those vehicles. It's around the same as the Maserati race car, but it's a fair way down on the other lot. Will it have the control to get it through the go? Will it have brakes to get it slowed down? Brakes would be nice. There we go. Just about. get it slowed down for turn 1. These are the very slow corners that have caused so many problems for the previous cars with a mile of understeer. And we've got that coming back in the Rolls-Royce. I don't think we're likely to roll this car, considering we just drove over the curb and it didn't even pick it up onto 2 wheels. So I think we are safe on that front. Oh god, it doesn't really get turned very well through. It's back to being quite an understeer vehicle. After the Dodge's incredibly nice handling, this is very much a boat, really. It's it should be good through this bit of the course, but everywhere else, yeah, we don't really quite have the turn in to get it through these corners fast. We do have a fair amount of almost safety in this car. It's really not spinning the wheels up whatsoever. It's incredibly composed on the traction side of things. Straight line speed, we're going to get up to 160 miles an hour. It is about 10, 12 miles an hour down on everything, pretty much. I think it might even be 20 down on the Jaguar. Again, that is perhaps not too surprising. While it does have good traction out of that final turn, you can actually put its power down quite quickly. It's got a lot of weight to be moving around, and that is killing the acceleration. I think this may be a case of, you know, sometimes that little bit more weight can be quite helpful for stability, but this might be a little bit too much on the weight side of things. Oh god, okay, carefully does it around there, and then he went quite badly wrong, as that's actually quite a nasty little turn. I suspect, certainly the dry and most normal cars, you won't really think about that corner, but it's just a slight kink in the straight that is enough to cause issues for these kind of vehicles. Oh crap, we don't stop. Yeah, that is the other big downside. We do have some lovely large tyres on the car, but there's still so much weight trying to get slowed down that you just can't brake late into these corners. Well, it wasn't a particularly good opening run, but there we go. Alright, well, again at 160 miles an hour is okay. Now we're alright. I can probably be a tad bit braver than that in the braking zone, but you got to be really careful. It's a bit like Brands Hatch, the Indy circuit. It's very easy to think, oh yeah, I can get away with a little bit more, but because of the nature of these cars, the speeds that they get up to, and so on, you know, a fraction of a second will make a very big difference in these. So you've got to be very, very careful when trying to really push them and see how late you can get away with going under braking, because yeah, very, very easy to go skating off. And while Brands Hatch had all of that lovely runoff area to skate off into, here doesn't. There is a solid wall for you to end up face first in. So yeah, that is not a fun place. Oh, come on, please get turned. It does just about, but it's certainly not with the vigour that we had from the Dodge, and I fear that while it's not any worse through the corners than the likes of the Mercury and so on, but yeah, they did all understeer. I think this lacks the kind of brutal acceleration. Yeah, we're quite a way down. It lacks the crazy acceleration that those sort of vehicles had. Oh, come on now, please slow down. Yeah, okay, we have got it stopped quite nicely in towards turn 1. We have a couple more laps to see if we can get any more time. I'm not sure I'm quite going to be able to find 3 seconds though in this car. That's going to be a bit of a tall order. It's not a bad driving vehicle, certainly. It's relatively easy to control, in all honesty, but I think that's just because we're really slow through these turns. Oh dear, now things have gone a little bit a little bit wrong. I have no doubt that this thing will be very, very happy to be incredibly sideways. Yep, my suspicions are confirmed. It will be very happy to be sideways everywhere around this course. Oh crap, uh-oh, get off the grass, god damn it, we're playing in the dirt. Well, it was always going to happen eventually. Not particularly surprised by the car either that it happened in. Okay, now stop prattling around, because we've actually got to try and go for a lap. Can I get any more time? Can I get into the 113s? That'd be nice. Well, my streak of having all of the cars really close together is going to be a little bit broken by this one. That is safe to say. 160 miles an hour, not bad for a Rolls-Royce down here. Oh, that was a little bit on the on the scary side, getting slowed down there, but it has done the trick. And then we've got to wait and wait and wait to get on the power, and then when you can get on the power, don't use all of it at once, because we will just spin the rear wheels and slide about, and we'll manage to slide our way around through. They're not really oversteer, just kind of running out of grip across the wet surface. Alright, now try and be neat and tidy on our way up here. I did clip the sign out of the way on one of the previous laps, so we don't have to worry about that, swatting the car to the side, although admittedly this Rolls-Royce is rather large and rather heavy. I doubt the sign would hold much fear for the for the Dawn. Pretty sure that would get rid of it fairly quickly. Try to get early on the brakes and try to put power down around there is a little bit of a pain. I think I left it too late to turn in. We do, though, get it slowed down for the second to last corner and the final turn. I think second gear will probably work out of here. And then we boot it and go, and it's fantastic amounts of traction out of that final corner. That running wide cost me a little bit. Cost me actually a fair bit on that lap. We do get it into the 13s, 113.9 for the Rolls-Royce. It's not a bad car to drive per se. It is, it's understeery through the turns, although a lot of cars have been with these very, very low speed corners. It's quite soggy inside, I would I would imagine, in this car. It's not bad through the turns, and the traction is really very, very good. There's just too much weight around this kind of a track. There's too much weight for it to really be able to accelerate out of the corners in the same way. Well, it has the traction to accelerate out of the corners, and the extra weight kind of hinders it. Doesn't handle too badly though, whatsoever around here. The lap time, is going to go into last place with these cars. It is a fair way down, actually, on the rest of the vehicles. Perhaps not too surprising. It is relatively low on PI compared to the silly cars, and the non-silly car is the Maserati race car benchmark, which is a fully fledged race car. So, yeah, perhaps not too surprising to see this down at the bottom. It is now time, though, to see how quickly the Rolls-Royce will go in a straight line. And that, of course, means bringing the Dawn to Le Mans. Now, nothing quite like this car has really gone for a silly car build. Perhaps the likes of the Hellcats, the Charger, or the Challenger would be kind of a good benchmark. We're not going to see the Rolls-Royce tackle the top of the table, the Jaguar D-Type, Ferrari 250 LM, etc. It's not going to be that fast. We have decent power in here, but it's not got their levels of sort of 1,200 horsepower, and it's just not got the aerodynamics to quite get up there. But we can get sort of 230 out of it. We're probably not doing too bad. It's not going to be that speed, though. I can tell you that much. 205 miles an hour, what the benchmark reckons at the moment. With some tinkering, we can get it a little bit quicker. I'm not sure, though. We're going to get it much quicker than, it reckons 208. I don't think we're going to probably do much more than that, yeah. I mean, we can fiddle about with this, and we can change the gear ratios, because it has got, bloody 8 gears, but I think we're pretty much aero limited to 208 miles an hour. It's, okay, that's not a good... We're probably going to be hitting our top speed at about 6th gear as opposed to 7th or 8th if we do this, yeah. We just don't have the aerodynamics to keep it going any faster. I would perhaps expect it to be a little bit quicker than that. It's not the best shape, really, but I would have thought it would have done a little bit better, but then again, it doesn't quite have the power. This is like 100 horsepower down on the NASCAR engine and so on, so it's got that kind of hindrance as well. It's not very often you say that it hasn't quite got the power when you're talking about a 890 something horsepower Rolls-Royce, but there we go. It's the case. It is the case when doing this sort of thing. I actually got a little bit on two wheels bouncing across that curb. Let's try it through here. Oh. That's a big slide. Big slide from the Rolls-Royce. Wasn't quite intending on doing that one. Right, straightened it up. All the horrible bumps. I mean, we didn't have any issues with bumps, and I very highly doubt we will. In a car such as this one, we're not likely to have issues. Oh yeah, it's quite slow. It's only 170 miles an hour hitting the corner. You know, that weight won't really affect top speed as much as it affects acceleration. It's going to take it a long time to get to its top speed. Yeah. Remember how quickly the Jaguar D-Type got from about 180 to 240? Yeah. This thing is not massively fast. Once it gets to 170, that's all it'll do. We're at 205. Come on, I could do with a couple more miles an hour out of you. 206, 207. There's no point changing up a gear. We're not going to be going any faster. We're not buzzing on the limiter as it is at the moment. Oh, I think it was actually flicking between 2.7 and 2.6. We are around the corner. Actually got a little bit light, but got it under control there. And we're going to bring it down to a rest on that one. Yeah, it's not the quickest, really. Quite a stately at 200 miles an hour. It doesn't exactly feel terrifying doing those sorts of speed. Got around the corner okay. Had a little bit of a bobble halfway around the turn, but on the whole, yeah, not too bad. Not too bad around there. Straight line speed is not massively impressive in the Dawn, but you know, to be fair, it's never really exactly designed to be a fast car as such, to be a comfortable car and so on. The speed will it'll go joint 26th place with the Mercury Coupe at 207 miles an hour. It does beat out the Fiat 959, the Willys Jeep, VW camper van, and the silly stuff really. It's just, yeah, not particularly fast in a straight line. It's not a terrible car to drive at all. In fact, relatively easy to drive quickly because the power to weight ratio isn't particularly high in it. You can have some sideways shenanigans if that is what you're after in the Dawn. You know, you can get it around a track relatively quickly, but yeah, it's just so heavy that even with this power and so on, it's not really quite enough to overcome all of the way. It could be a worse car though. Could be a hell of a lot worse. Could be a lot more dodgy to drive. Just yeah, it's not massively fast. Well, there we go. That is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.